It's Tuesday afternoon, and you know what that means. It's time for Randominity with the Random Christian Show. Today, the Random Christian Show is interviewing actor and author Herbie J Pilato. Do you love shameless promotion of your product or brand? Are you looking to branch into alternative marketing opportunities? Do you want two random guys to pump your product and brand for 2 hours every Tuesday? Presenting sponsored packages for the Random Christian Show are available now. Just email therandomchristianshow@gmail.com for more information. The Random Christian Show is proudly supported by The Advisor. The Advisor is a Facebook group created by Colonel James Neil Broadus, composed of multi-talents such as actors, directors, artists, writers, and more. If you fall into this category, contact them on Facebook at The Advisor. Intro music provided by the Dead Campers. Check them out on Spotify and at deadcampers.com. Next week, the Random Christian Show is interviewing actor Bishop Stevens. My name is Andy, and now here's your host, Christian Random. Get out of the check mix. Come on. We're on the air, dude.
Hello. I wasn't doing that, but hey, Chex Mix, by the way, if you are looking to sponsor a fun and festive show, especially during the holiday seasons, just saying.
That's a bagel Chex Mix? Oh, bagel chips. Oh, yeah.
The bagel chips are back.
Oh, man.
Which,
dangerous.
Dangerous. I know. It's like a Michael Jackson song.
Oh.
And you know what?
Yeah. Wow.
Speaking of Christmas and Andy Claus, I was going to say, you know what makes an excellent Christmas gift?
The Random Christian Show hat.
Random Christian Show hat. That's right. And we're actually working on getting some shirts probably for the new year. But those hats are here and they can be mailed to you. You just hit me up at the Random Christian Show at gmail.com or just the randomchristianshow.com. You can click on the link through there. I would love to send you a hat and sell you a hat and, fund the show a little bit, have some fun with it. And, you'd look really cool like the rest of us. Well, you probably look a lot cooler than the rest.
A lot cooler than we will in the hats.
Yeah.
Although I look pretty good in the hat.
You do.
I really do. I really do.
I look a lot better because there's not so much glare once the hat's on my head.
Right.
So, Andy, how are you, sir? Welcome to the show.
I'm well. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Sorry. I know I missed last week. I'm very sorry that I did. But like you said, work does happen sometimes.
Yeah.
And I had to unfortunately bow out of last week's show, but you handled it like a pro, like you always do. Sandy was a great guest, and I'm glad, like most of our guests, she's going to come back and talk because I now have tons of questions for her that I want to ask.
Yeah. So, and with that, well, dude, the doorman,
that's so very cool.
Yeah, I'm very intrigued about that whole. It's still kind of an if for her, but she's definitely going to be
cross our fingers that it's gonna happen.
So yeah, and she hasn't emailed me anything about it, but she's supposed to be releasing the little bit that she did. So as soon as we get that, I'm going to make it available on our page.
Oh, that'll be great.
The website or whatever. So we'll make sure everybody can check it out from there. So that being said, it is now officially the Christmas season because we're past Thanksgiving and it's December now.
Does that mean I need to give back my black cat?
Yes, probably.
That's
right. Halloween's over. Put it in a box.
Shadow. He didn't mean that. He didn't mean that.
I'm just saying it's a Halloween decoration and it's now Christmas. So
it's a living, breathing, pooping Halloween decoration.
Well, spray paint it white and it'll be.
I can make it candy cane. White and red.
Yes. We're very excited about that now.
Yeah. All right. I will post pictures after it's done.
Yes. Well done. Yeah, I want to see that. I expect you get a little bell.
Yeah.
Get a
Oh
little
yeah.
bell for it. Oh,
So
she is wearing a bell.
No, we actually started with the bell, but it got too annoying, so we took the bell off. We thought it was great because she couldn't hide. We knew where she was at every moment, and then sure enough, in the middle of the night when she's running around,
Ding, 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 ding,
ding,
ding,
ding. My wife, the first night,
Go get
taking
the
that
cat.
damn. I know I'm taking that damn bell off. Okay, honey.
Yeah, we it's like our new addition, Vinny Doggerino.
Yes.
He's actually sleeping pretty much through the night. Thank
That's
goodness,
great.
because there was a couple times where my wife was,
I'm going to kill the dog.
Right.
and
Yeah.
I said, I'll help try to take care of it.
That's why you work.
Okay. And but no, she was very kind.
There is
and,
no Lois, only Zool.
Yeah, right. There was a couple times where I'm like, we're either giving the dog back or it's going to die and we're going to have to give
Right,
it back.
yeah,
So I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Our dog's defective. It's all limp and doesn't move. I don't know what happened to it. Um anyway, can we don't need another one either. We're okay. Yeah. So yeah, we've learned our lessons, but he's actually picked it up very quickly, and now he's like kind of chilling throughout the night unless something really makes a noise or disturbs him. So
that's great. That's good. Hey, Mark Soursby, how are you, buddy?
Oh,
Mark's in the chat.
The chat. Dang it, I forgot to alert. Or
I got the chat. The chat is live.
Not the chat. So. You are chat. You are.
I'm
Welcome to the chat. There it is. There it is. Nice ties. Hey. Yeah, thank you.
Well,
thank you very much.
Yeah.
This was as Christmassy as I could find. Yeah. Well, yeah, and Herbie's on. Herbie Pilato.
I mean, come on.
I mean, he's, man, what hasn't this guy done, really?
Right. Yeah.
And we were talking pre-show here, and I was just like, man, I've been kind of nerding out about getting him on because he's done so much with all these classic TV shows, Bob Newhart, Bewitched. Yeah. I mean, I think there was talk about him being the fourth Darren or something like that.
Right.
I don't know. But Mary Tyler Moore, Carol Burnett, all these shows that he's especially the Bob Newhart show. I totally geek out on Bob Newhart. He was like my first stand-up comic I was really ever into as a kid. So good times.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome.
Speaking of good times, we have a new segment we'll be airing towards the end of the show called Tommy the Truth, the sports ticker with Tommy the Truth. Yeah, we are very excited about having Tommy on and doing a little sports kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? Sports stick. We'll be learning all about the sports. Yeah. Oh, look, and we just lost a viewer because I said sports.
There you go.
There we go. No. So yeah, it's a little something we're gonna try out. Maybe every other week we'll just do a catch up with sports and whatnot. Yeah. And and speaking of segments, we have a special guest today for our Random 9 list.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's right. Even the crowd's behind this one. It's a guy you may have heard of. His name's Chris Pratt. Former guy out of Southern California, San Diego area. He's been in a few movies, things like that. But he has.
By the way, if you haven't seen the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special yet, watch it. It is incredible.
Is it? Because it's not like the Star Wars holiday special.
They're two completely different things. This has so much heart, and if you are any type of fan of the Marvel movies, you will love this, and it will become a automatic yearly watch for you. I've already seen it 3 times. So James Gunn wrote songs for this. And the opening song about Christmas.
James Gunn wrote songs for this.
Yes. And so he got the old 97 to play the song and be in the special. And it is one of the funniest best Christmas songs I have ever heard. I'm just gonna leave it.
Okay, well now I got to watch it. But let me
might-
guess, it's only on Disney Plus.
That is correct. You don't have it.
Actually, I have an access code I can use.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
This is gonna be your gateway. I'm excited for you.
It's somebody in our family was like, "You don't have Disney? Oh, you're using my Disney Plus. You've got to have Disney Plus." And I'm like, "Okay." So
let this be your gateway drug into Disney Plus.
Yeah, that's all I need. just another addiction I'm gonna have to go through a 12-step program for.
Exactly.
Yeah. Hi, my name's Chris, and I'm a
Yeah.
Disney Plus addict. I've now watched
so we have
Guardians of the Galaxy for 5,000th time. Yeah, no, we've got a random 9 list from Chris Pratt. Yeah,
that's amazing.
Star-Lord, by the way, just so everybody out there is watching. Mr. Soursby, are you ready for this? Because I hope you are. It's something he did on the MTV Awards, but he actually meant to do it for us. But he's like, hey, listen, they paid me a lot more money to do this list on their show, but it's still a random 9 list, and it's still for us. Just
so
through
let's
MTV.
do it.
But yeah, and he's a lot fatter in this one for some reason. So
okay. Is this
probably?
Did you steal this from the internet? Did you steal this from like Instagram?
This is post.
Why don't you
Guardians of the Galaxy?
You got to call me for this stuff. I could fix this.
I did, but you were busy.
Oh, okay.
Oh, well, hello, Heather Durham. Welcome to the show. All right. So without further ado, here is Chris Pratt with our random 9 list.
9 rules from Chris Pratt, Generation Award winner. Number 1, breathe. If you don't, you'll suffocate. Number 2, you have a soul. Be careful with it. Number 3, don't be a turd. If you're strong, be a protector, and if you're smart, be a humble influencer. Strength and intelligence can be weapons, and do not wield them against the weak. That makes you a bully. Be bigger than that. Number 4, when giving a dog medicine, put the medicine in a little piece of hamburger, they won't even know they're eating medicine. Number 5, doesn't matter what it is, earn it. A good deed, reach out to someone in pain, be of service, it feels good and it's good for your soul. Number 6, God is real. God loves you. God wants the best for you. Believe that. I do. Number 7, if you have to poop at a party, but you're embarrassed because you're going to stink up the bathroom, just do what I do. Lock the door. Sit down. Get all the pee out first. Okay? And then once all the pee's done, poop, flush. Boom. You minimize the amount of time that the poop is touching the air. Because if you poop first, it takes you longer to pee, and then you're peeing on top of it, stirring it up. The poop particles create a cloud, goes out, and then everyone in the party will know that you pooped. Just trust me, it's science. Number 8, learn to pray. It's easy, and it's so good for your soul. And finally, number 9, nobody is perfect. People are going to tell you you're perfect just the way you are. You're not. You are imperfect. You always will be, but there is a powerful force that designed you that way. And if you're willing to accept that, you will have grace. And grace is a gift. And like the freedom that we enjoy in this country, that grace was paid for with somebody else's blood. Do not forget it. Don't take it for granted. God bless you. Please get home safely. Thank you.
Well, yay! There it is, our random 9 list via Chris Pratt. Hey-o! Yeah! Thank you, Mr. Pratt. Thanks for stopping by and getting that done. And
now I know how to poop at a party.
Yeah, dude, words of wisdom and pure science.
Right?
It's fully
Yeah.
based on science. I mean, that's just amazing. So yeah, now like I said, he meant to do that live for us here, but MTV paid him a lot of money to do that there. So we'll just we'll take what we can get, and we're not going to be picky or rude or anything like that. Kind of like somebody stepping up and leaving the show in the middle of everything going on. But that's all right.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
I just thought you were gonna go poop. So
No. I know how to poop during a podcast. So
and look at all the words of wisdom we're getting in the chat here.
I know this is great. Yeah.
I have prayer a few times after I poop.
Always have matches in your purse or pocket. That's actually really good, Heather. Yes.
I usually keep a flamethrower in my purse. So it's what it's there for. That's why I have a purse. I'm just saying.
A man purse?
Sure, we'll call it that. That's fine.
Okay. A
As
satchel?
long as,
do you feel better that it's called a satchel?
As long as there's allowed to have pretty rhinestones and matching.
Well, of course.
jewelry.
No, you can accessorize it however you want to, but you do need a name for the actual thing because you have to get it. You have to pick it up, or someone has to get it for you. What do you say? Give me my purse, or give me my satchel, or give me my man bag.
Give me my bag, you damn it! I just want my bag.
Or do you just say, give me the thing that holds my wallet? Is that what you say?
Yeah. My backpack. Fanny pack for you. Yes.
Yeah, right. Yep. Yeah.
I walk around. Back in my day, we didn't have backpacks. We just had fanny packs, but we never carried them on our fanny. We'd carry them in our front so that way we could access them. Okay. All right. Sorry. Sorry.
My dad famously rocked a fanny pack for years, way after their their day.
Dude, there's still people doing it. It's like, wow.
Yeah.
You gotta move on. Gotta move on.
You absolutely do. Just
speaking of moving on, you know what we need to do?
Bring in our guest.
We need to move on to I'm trying to get them. There it is.
There we are.
Our intro music. We've got a gentleman here with us. Perfect timing. He just released a book for Christmas. He's got all sorts of classic television references and has written a lot of books about Bewitched. I can't so much. I want to get him on, but his new book called The 12 Best Secrets of Christmas, I believe. I don't have it in front of me, but I've got it written down over on my notes here. Herbie J Pilato, let's bring him in, ladies and gentlemen. There he is. Oh, wait, he's over in the corner. Nobody puts Herbie in the corner. There's Herbie. Herbie!
Won't be the first time. Hey.
Welcome to the show.
Thank
How are you, sir?
I'm doing terrific. I got some earplugs so I can hear you guys great.
Oh,
awesome.
Excellent.
Beautiful. Well done. Okay. So welcome to the show, sir. We're so glad to have you along with us. And it is the fabulous Christmas season. I'm just going to let this kind of ride in the background for a little bit because it's
the best music ever.
Dude, I love Charlie Brown Christmas music. I play it all December and a little bit into January or July. I have been nerding out about getting you on this show. You've done a lot for classic television. You worked with a lot of the behind the scenes shows. I know that. You've written a lot of books about some of my favorite TV shows from when I was growing up as a kid. Now, you started out acting, correct? Is that correct?
Yeah. I was born in Rochester, New York, which is upstate, and studied acting at Nazareth College. Did plays, as a kid in grammar school. I was actually Santa Claus and a Rudolph. I was Judas in The Last Supper, so I don't know about that one. But
oh, that was a rough one.
That was a rough call. But yeah, always wanted to move to California. Always wanted to move to Los Angeles, and I eventually did that formally in the fall of '83.
Wow. Okay. Oh, so in '83. Okay. So, I was in my junior year of high school in '83. Okay. So now you moved out here. You started doing some acting, and you also worked as a page.
Yep.
Okay.
From what I understood when I came here, the cool job to have, as far as like an internship, your first job would be to be a page at one of the networks. And
Okay.
everybody said CBS or ABC. I said, I heard that NBC was the place to begin as a page. So I went to a taping of Family Ties with Michael J. Fox,
Oh,
Oh,
that show in
wow.
the 80s. And I stopped, I saw the people, all in these like uniforms look like stewards and stewardesses. And I'm like, that looks like a fun job. That's really what I want to do. I stopped a page and I begged him to give me a connection to his office. And 6 months later, I got the job.
Boom. Okay. Now, what exactly does a page, what is all that entitled? What do you do there as a page? I mean, it's not like you're just in a book.
No, but that's the title of my book, NBC and Me, My Life as a Page in a Book.
Boom.
Oh, wow. That's
See,
great.
it all comes together. Billion points a lot coming together into a book.
But that came later. There's different jobs. You either seat people at the audience. I worked at Tonight Show starring Johnny Carson for 18 months
Wow.
for a good four times a week. But
That's
you also
incredible.
can be in the publicity department, press department. You can work in casting or story development, wherever you want to go.
Okay. So
It's an opportunity to learn about what you want to do in the industry.
okay.
Oh,
So
wow.
you're just basically interning
Yeah.
into whatever favorite department you want to be involved with. So
Correct.
but man, oh my gosh, 18 months with the Johnny Carson show. Dude.
Best job ever. Anyone who was anybody in the 80s passed right by me, whether it was
Wow.
Farrah Fawcett, John Travolta. I had to tell John Travolta that he couldn't come on the show. That was an interesting night. But
Hey, what are you talking about? What
he
now?
was actually very nice.
What happened there? He was trying? I got to get on the show. The guy Mr. Carradine coming on.
Yeah, that's exactly how it went.
Whoa.
No, he was scheduled to be on one of the segments or episodes that Joan Rivers, because Joan Rivers used to sub for
Right.
Johnny on like a Monday night.
Yeah.
And she was throwing some birthday party or something on set, on camera, and he was delayed. We needed to have him, 10 minutes. Please don't come on for 10 more minutes. So for some reason, they turned to me and said, Herbie, would you go please tell John Travolta that he can't come on for 10 more minutes? I said, you want me? Me to tell
Me?
talking to me?
I think you're talking to somebody else. You can't be talking to me, huh?
So I went to his dressing room and I knocked on the door. I said, Mr. Travolta. And then I stopped and I went, Mr. Travolta. I said, they don't need you right now. And he's like, oh, okay. And that was it. He was fine.
Oh, no way. No way.
Oh my God. Oh, so built up for something more.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? I gotta get on there. Wait. No. Okay, cool.
I was expecting that, but no, he was really, really cool. So
wow.
Hey, you guys got these great little tiny triangle sandwiches. They're awesome. I'll just sit back here.
I'll have a little bit more of these. This will be good.
It's all good. Whatever. That's dude, but but seeing how that whole show ran. I mean, it's that is one of the staples of Americana is the Johnny Carson show. And I know it's the Tonight Show or whatever, but Johnny Carson is all that embodies that show and what that show is about. And there's nobody that will ever be able to replace him. There's a lot of people that have tried. Letterman is his own thing. Conan's his own thing. Fallon, I'm sorry, no. But anyway.
Kimmel. Well, the thing is, he had so much respect for the guests, and he never tried to outshine the guests. He let the guests talk, like you guys. I mean, you're so cool. You respect your guests.
You're the reason we're here. And I mean, I'm not going to toot my own horn, but I've had 3 different people reference us as very Carson-esque. Is
That's big.
Words two different people have used that on occasion, the same word, and I was like, oh, that's cool.
Oh,
So
I don't just sit here and laugh. Okay.
I said we.
No, wait. I totally do just sit here and laugh. So no, this is good. This works.
I was going to say, actually, there's sometimes that's all you do, Andy. So
yes, no.
Well, no, but Johnny was a really super nice guy. He always treated the pages great. He was never arrogant. He was a sweetheart.
He's just real.
He was real. I mean, he was a very happy guy. He was a very rich guy. He worked 4 hours a week, made 90 million a year. I mean, he was a terrific guy.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a little more than 4 hours a week, but you know.
Yeah, well, he had drive time because he drove himself.
That's right.
He did. He did not want a limo. He had that Midwestern mentality where he wanted to drive himself, and every day he'd drive his Corvette in from Malibu into Burbank.
Yeah.
It was really cool.
But I mean, that's the one thing. I'm originally a California native, like Andy, and I live out here in Kansas City now. And the one thing I truly admire out here in the Midwest is, a lot of the work ethic, a lot of, and like Kansas City, you would not think. I mean, everybody passes by Kansas City. It's it's St. Louis or it's Chicago or something like that. But Kansas City is like one of the coolest dang places I've ever been. It's just so laid back, and they don't, it's like, okay, well, yeah, we don't get that, but big shows pass us over or whatever, but they don't care. Like, yeah, that's cool, but everybody respects each other. We all work together. Something goes south, everybody stands together and helps each other out. It's a beautiful place to be in. I love it out here in the Midwest. So, which I still don't get Midwest. We should just be called Center, but whatever. So that being said, back to you being a page. And, okay, you did a page for NBC, and now you got involved, and I'm trying to remember the exact name, and I left my notes outside. Welcome to the show. It's the Random Christian Show.
Right.
Herbie J Pilato is with us. Now, am I saying that right? Is it Pilato or?
You said it perfectly. Herbie J Pilato. Absolutely right.
Boom. Got the skills. Preservation of
the Classic TV Preservation Society. There you go.
I was close. Okay. Which I think is absolutely cool because I mean, now when did you start that? When did all that develop?
That started formally in like 2010, 2011. It really came from my book signings and my self-esteem seminars that I'd give to schools and colleges and community centers and business organizations, really, in Rochester. But before even that, Elizabeth Montgomery inspired me because she did so many charitable things. She donated so much time and money of her own to so many various causes. And I knew that I wanted to one day do something like that. So I'm always talking about the positive influence of classic TV, how there are people in the world that became lawyers because of Perry Mason, doctors because of Marcus Welby, yada, yada, yada. And I'm like, I need to formalize this. So I did that with a nonprofit, which is not an easy thing to do, to establish.
No. Oh, no.
Yeah.
We know very much about nonprofit. Welcome to the Random Christian Show. So now that being said, you're that was kind of around the time with like Nick at Night and all that. They were kind of on their way out, correct? But they were showing all these great classic TV shows, and that which I loved. I mean, and I mean, again, the classic shows like what you're talking about, Bewitched, Mary Tyler Moore, the Lou Grant, a lot of the MTM productions. Bob Newhart. So now, is that how you're like, okay, I can see this kind of getting passed over. I want to make sure this is put out there.
No, no, that's not how it happened at all. It was very strange because back I left my job at NBC like in December 1985. Happened to one of my last assignments was working on the Bob Hope Christmas special. It was just so freaky because then
wow.
1 month later I went home and I watched it. And of course, you grew up watching those in the 60s and
Oh
70s
Yeah.
yeah.
with
Oh,
the fake
absolutely.
snow and the whole thing. So the job ended, and then in like February 1986, NBC did a movie called I Dream of Jeannie 15 Years Later, which was a reunion movie of that series, which in many ways was just really a ripoff of Bewitched. And I thought,
Right.
I always loved Bewitched. I thought if there's ever going to be a reunion movie about a hot, blonde, magical woman and her dark-haired mortal, husband or friend, it should be Bewitched. So Elizabeth Montgomery didn't want to do the movie. I wrote a script. She didn't want to do a movie, and long story short, she agreed to do a book about the original show
Oh wow.
because her husband, Bill Asher, who was her husband on the show, was going to reboot Bewitched. I had sent him the script, and she was going to pop in as Samantha in this reboot, not the reunion, but a reboot. And
Oh,
then
wow.
he is the one who said, "You need to talk with Herbie. He really
Oh.
is concerned with this entity known as Bewitched." And she called me.
Oh
Oh
wow.
my
But
God.
before that, Bill Asher gave me her phone number.
Oh
Well,
my goodness.
now how does a phone call like that go? I mean, what you're sitting on the couch eating chips, watching reruns, and all of a sudden you're like, "Yellow."
No, that's not how it
Huh?
happened either.
Wow,
She
I wasn't there, so yeah.
no, she didn't call me back for 6 months. I had to keep on calling her
Oh wow.
because what I did, I had my, like, in the back in the 80s, you had your, what do you call it, the answering machines.
Oh
So
yeah,
I
yeah,
had it
Yeah.
I had it so the voice or the machine worked where you left the message at the twitch sound.
Right. Yep.
So every time she heard that, she hung up.
Oh my God.
Oh no.
She was like, "Oh no, who am I leaving this message?" She was just
Right.
wigging her out. But she finally called me back, and I missed the call. And
Oh wow.
because I was doing my laundry, I had to do my laundry. And I called her back and I said, "I'm so sorry I missed your call. I was doing my laundry." And she said, "As you should."
Right. Yeah.
She's like,
And
Herbie, we prefer you with clean clothes. That's awesome.
well, it wasn't just that. It was just she was so normal. She was so regular.
Oh,
And from there we became friends. Right? She like broke the ice with that. She was just an
Oh,
amazing person. Really, really was.
that's great.
wow. So, and yeah, that's how she starts the conversation. Well, as you should
As
be
you
doing
should.
your laundry.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So I'm
Because
gonna
she-
go. Everything's in the rinse cycle. I'll call you back, and then just hang up on her. Yeah. Just. Oh,
Hey.
heyo.
Oh.
Machine. There it goes. Yeah. Sound effects machine's working way too well right now. Sorry. All right. So then you wrote this amazing book about Elizabeth Montgomery and the show Bewitched. And now is it about her into Bewitched or just about her being in Bewitched and her involvement in that? Or is it before, beginning, or beginning, middle, after? I mean, is it
Right.
the whole gambit? What
Right.
all entails in that book?
Well, there's actually four of them. The first one was the Bewitched book, which was published in '92, and then she died way too young in '95.
Oh,
She was
yeah.
only like 62 years old of essentially colon cancer. And then I rebooted that Bewitched book and called it Bewitched Forever. And then 10 years later or so, I wrote the first biography about her called Twitch Upon a Star, the Bewitched Life and Career of Elizabeth Montgomery. And then I did an encyclopedia of her work, which is the Essential Elizabeth Montgomery. So the Bewitched books are about the show, and then the two biographies are about her life before, during, and after, every Bewitched and everything she did before, during, and after Bewitched.
Wow, man, That is so very cool. Now, okay, there was how many Darrens? 2 or 3?
2.
It was 2. Okay, I thought at the end there was a third one that got squeaked in there, something like that. But okay, so
Yeah.
and I'm sorry, I'm just noticing a couple things. Oh, did you ever ride in the Corvette with Johnny?
No, I did not. But I remember. I can't think if it's me or somebody else who told me this story. It's another page. But we used to give tours like on the lot, and sometimes we would go show everybody. Well, there's Johnny's parking space. There it is. And so
that empty spot right there that nobody's near.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think one day this is either me, because this is a blur, or a colleague. I'm standing on the spot and I'm going, yeah, this is where it is. And there's this horn. And I'm like, just a minute, buddy. And I'm just trying to give a tour here. And sure enough, it was Johnny beeping for me to, or my colleague.
Oh, wow. That's incredible.
But he was laughing. I remember him laughing. He was laughing about it. Never again. He didn't scold.
Yeah.
Didn't yell.
Just going with the flow. All right. Now, well, I'm going to touch into the sci-fi stuff here in a little bit.
So, so Mark, we have a comment from Mark Soursby that says he heard that Elizabeth didn't like the final season of Bewitched. Is there any truth to that?
I'm going to say yes, there is truth to that. She was growing very tired. There was a lot going on. I mean, she did the show for 8 years. She and Bill Asher were having marital issues, and she was very hurt by him because he had an affair. I don't know. You're married to Elizabeth Montgomery. What are you going to have an affair for? What's
right? Exactly,
dude.
I never understood that part. So she was very hurt by that, but she also wanted to move on. But if you look in that 8th year, she's just dragging her feet through that season. And the show wasn't the same. It wasn't what it was in the first 5 years with Dick York, who was the first Darren, who was amazing, and Dick Sargent, who was a sweetheart, but he had a hard time, because Agnes Moorehead didn't want him on the show, and Elizabeth stuck up for him. It was just time to end the series.
Wow, I did not. Okay, well, and if we want to know more, we need to go get.
We need to read the book.
Books.
Yeah.
All right. Which
just
all
a teaser.
That's
a teaser.
Can all those be found on like Amazon or Barnes and Noble?
Yeah, absolutely. Amazon.com and BarnesandNoble.com. You certainly could contact me directly for any of my books at HerbieJPilato.com and order personally signed copies if you want. But Amazon is the best place.
Okay. Right on. Okay, good to know. And now all your books, I'm assuming, are all on there because you do have quite an array of books that you have out there. You wrote one. Oh my gosh! See, I make notes.
You want me to go down the line? I can mention.
Well, I was going to say let's go through the list of books that you've done because there's some really cool things.
Dashing, Daring, and Debonair.
Yes.
Which chronicles the male icons from 60s, 70s, and 80s, right?
Right.
50s, 60s, 70s.
50s, 60s, 70s. And then we have Glamour, Gidgets, and The Girl Next Door, iconic women's from the 50s, 60s, and 70s.
Right.
And then we get into Twitch Upon a Star, The Essential Elizabeth Montgomery. And then this is one that I'm going to tell my wife to get this for me for Christmas, the Bionic book. Reconstruction.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's one of the ones I wanted to build into in the sci-fi thing because huge $6 Million fan, Lee Majors, Steve Austin.
Yeah.
Just
Lindsay Wagner. I mean, you don't get any more. She was just beautiful, natural beauty. I happened to be on the set of the 3rd reunion movie called Bionic Ever After. I was invited by Richard Anderson, who played Oscar Goldman on both those shows. And he wrote the foreword to my Bionic book. So those reunions. Yeah.
My best friend in college, the last 2 years that I was there, was Courtney Wagner, Lindsay's sister.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So,
wow.
And I did not put 2 and 2 together until she offhand mentioned her sister one day. And I'm like, wait, no. wait, that the same person? She's like,
Yeah.
the same person.
Wow.
There's a big age gap there, but it was a very interesting story between the two of them. But for another day.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, yeah, you never mentioned that before. See, Andy, it's
Well,
like I
that's
hardly
never
even
come
know
up before, Christian. You don't know me.
I've mentioned my old Bionic Man doll with the space capsule and the biodome.
I
and
try
all
to
that.
keep the fetishes under wraps, Christian. I really do.
Whoa, wow. I did have a Lindsay Wagner poster. Not gonna lie. Dude, she was hot.
We all had Lindsay Wagner posters. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Well, the great thing about Lindsay is, in the era of Charlie's Angels and Linda Carter, who was of course gorgeous, but
Oh, yeah.
Lindsay, she didn't care about the glamour or the makeup and all that. She was so natural and she was so real, which made her stand out all the more. That's why everybody loved her. She started out on the show just as a 2-part episode on $6 Million Man, and
Right.
her character was actually killed off. And the fans went nuts. What are you doing, killing off the Bionic Woman? So she wasn't under contract, so they had her come back. But before they had her come back, Universal was like, well, we got, Stephanie Powers, she can play Jamie, or we got Sally Field. And ABC's like, get us Lindsay Wagner.
Wow.
So they brought her back for another 2-part episode. The ratings went through the roof. And then she still wasn't under contract. And so her Ron Samuels, who happened to be a husband to Linda Carter, was her manager as well as Linda's. And Ron broke the bank in getting Lindsay not only under contract, but her own series. And Lindsay just, knocked it out of the park with that show and that character.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's
So,
incredible.
okay. Now, and okay, I know you were alluding to it, but I mean, she just seems so naturally, just so nice and so casual. I mean, kind of like, I guess, a Johnny Carson, just very just cool and just relaxed and having fun. I mean, was she like that in person, or?
She was to me when I went to the set of Bionic Ever After. Well, but before even any of that happened, when I was just interviewing her, she granted an interview with me that was very extensive. I sent a heartfelt letter to her agent, and and I think this is what Elizabeth saw too. I wasn't into like, oh, could I have your autograph or could I have a picture with you, which is cool today, but back in the day, in the 80s, it wasn't something you did. And they just respected. They saw that I was really concerned with, what they did and their work before and after their iconic roles. So, after the interview, the first interview I had with Lindsay on the phone, she was like, well, gee, that was easy, because she was used to a different kind of approach, like in the regular questions. And I asked real people questions. Yeah. Linda Carter, God bless her, she said to me once, she's like, this interview is different. She goes, this is different, So I took that as
freaking me out, Herbie. So yeah, oh my God, so all these iconic characters and people that you've talked to, this is just absolutely, I mean, Linda Carter, I mean, obviously Wonder Woman. Wow. And yes, okay, Heather was actually one of our
she wants to know more about Glamour Gidget and the Girls Next Door.
Okay.
And then she's touched on another one of my favorite all-time shows and back in the day. We'll get to in just a minute. But yeah, let's get back into we want to hear about Glamour Gidget and the Girl Next Door.
Yeah. That book came out, it was after my Essential Elizabeth Montgomery, so it was a follow-up. I wanted to do, I was like, all these wonderful women who made these amazing, created these amazing characters that were very independent, for their era, whether it was Marlo Thomas or Diane Carroll from Julia, or even like Eleanor Donahue from Father Knows Best. They were all strong female characters. Yeah. And I wanted to make sure that I covered all of them, not just, Samantha or Mary Tyler Moore, which I would do later in depth, but I wanted to make sure that everybody got their due. And that was ultimately a huge success. I talked with what was her name? Donna Douglas from the Beverly Hillbillies. Talk about beautiful, inside
Wow.
and out, down to earth. Just on and on. Julie Newmar, Catwoman.
Oh my
Oh
God.
yeah.
From
Oh
Batman.
wow.
So that was a success, and then I knew I had to follow that up with Dashing, Daring, and Debonair, which I sometimes call Dashing Darren and Debonair by mistake.
Little Freudian slip there. And now, okay, just to allude back into this for a second, I mean, yes, you've talked to a lot of iconic, but you want to talk about iconic, Marlo Thomas.
Oh.
I mean, that girl,
Oh,
that show,
yeah.
I remember when it first, with Donald and all, that show broke a lot of barriers, didn't it?
Oh, absolutely. And it did so before the Mary Tyler Moore Show. Everybody said, well,
Oh,
Mary
yeah.
was the first
Yeah.
independent female. Well, that wasn't true.
No.
Anne
No.
Marie paved the way for that. Whereas,
Yeah.
to be fair, Ann Southern, years before in the 50s and early 60s, I guess, had the Ann Southern show where she played a secretary. And then Rosemarie played a working woman on the Dick Van Dyke Show as Sally Rogers.
Oh, that's true.
But
Yeah.
Anne Marie was really the first one who had her own show with an independent spirit. She didn't have any money, but she had this great apartment and all these amazing clothes, which no one understood how she could afford.
Because she was that girl.
She was that girl, and I love those openings. And that was supposed to be just the 1 or 2 episodes, but everybody loved it. So the writers had a real hard time trying to come up with a new intro every week. How are we going to say that girl this week?
Yeah, I was gonna say that was one of the things that, like, that was the first time I ever noticed a TV show that had like a hook like that,
Yeah.
and that developed into some other shows, like, I mean, even just going right into the 80s, how Cheers always had that opening scene, one with it's one iconic opening line,
Yeah.
and so, which, I mean, that was an amazing show on its own, but no, that girl, seriously, I thought it was just an amazing show. I mean, even, I'm just a young dude, but and plus she was pretty.
It's gorgeous.
The way, I mean, I didn't realize it back when I was younger, but then when I watched it later on, like on Nick at Night and stuff like that, you're just like, wow. Yeah, because it was before Mary Tyler Moore. It was before all these,
Yeah.
70s independent woman. She was, she was the
Well,
Beyonce
and
of her
Marlo,
time.
yes, and Marlo Thomas produced the show. I mean, it wasn't that obvious because you didn't see her name, like executive producer Marlo Thomas, but
Oh, right.
she owned Daisy Productions, which is the production company that produced the show. But she was also very female, women's liberation in real life. So she wanted to make sure that they didn't get married, that she and Ted Bessel, who played Don Hollinger on the show, that they didn't get married, so that the show wasn't about a married woman. And in the 5th season, they got engaged, and she didn't want to do a 6th year because she didn't want the show to turn into That Woman or That Wife.
Yeah.
Called That Girl for a reason.
Right.
Not that girl and some guy she's married to.
But no, to be fair, Marlo always said it wasn't really that girl; it was that couple, because she loved Ted Bessel, and she knew how much, he brought to that show. And ironically enough, at some point, they were going to do That Girl as a feature film, and it was going to be That Woman. Actually, Ted Bessel was going to direct it, and he was also going to direct the original Bewitched feature film, which never happened. And I was going to serve as a consultant on that, but then he died. It was very, very sad. Very sad.
Oh, wow.
Wow. Well, the way to bring us down, Herbie.
I'm sorry.
I'm kidding. No, okay. So yes, amazing. And again, we're talking with Herbie J Pilato. He's written all sorts of books about classic television shows, and been involved with several. We're going to jump into one of my faves, Kung Fu.
Oh.
David Carradine, the Kung Fu Book of Cain, which Heather actually noted here in the comments as well.
Thank you, Heather.
yeah, when I saw you that you had done that, plus the Bionic Man. I mean, okay, real quick, allude to that. Is Lee Majors as cool as he seems like on the TV shows?
He's very cool. he's
I
very cool. Very cool.
I mean, you know that, and then you know the Fall Guy and stuff like that. I was always just like, dude, Lee Majors is the coolest ever.
Well, he's very shy. He's very, very shy. And
Really?
he was adopted, and he had some sensitivity to that. So he didn't grant a lot of interviews either, because he was always afraid of what the press would say about him or whatnot regarding his childhood. Very sensitive guy, but he trusted me too, and that was because of Richard Anderson. He paved the way. So like Bill Asher paved the way for me to talk to Elizabeth, Richard Anderson paved the way for me to talk with Lee Majors.
Wow.
That's
Dude,
great.
that is so
I've noticed,
cool.
yeah, I've noticed like a lot of these guys with a lot of charisma too, that do have these, not necessarily great upbringings, but just their charisma on screen is so great. They save a lot of that for the screen, and when they're off, I mean, they're off. Like they're, and I don't know if you've noticed that at all, but when I watch interviews, because I take in a lot of interviews for shows that I like and shows that I love, and I just notice it's just like, wow, like they really bring a lot to the screen. So
yeah, it's saving the energy, it's channeling it. I mean, I've done that
Yeah.
too. I mean, I did that before I did this show. I was very
Right.
reserved, meditating, and then I came out.
Just in this dark space, and then
Right. Yeah.
showtime. Okay.
No, but
Kinda.
it's true. But it's true. And I did want to mention too that I also served as a consultant and as a cultural commentator on the new Blu-ray release of The $6 Million Man and the Bionic Woman. Both of those are gorgeous. What they did with those transfers of the episodes are just beautiful. They didn't even look that good when they originally ran. So those are out there.
A lot of those shows that they've remastered and stuff like that, it's like I'm not sure this is the same show, because the color, I mean, and it's like more vivid. You're like, wow, this is not like 70s TV that I remember.
Right.
Of course, I was kind of stoned back in the 70s too, so things were a little blurry through the 80s, 90s, et cetera, and so forth.
It happens. It's okay.
Yeah, we've grown up and we moved on, somewhat immature wise.
Kind of.
Yeah, kind
A
of.
little- a little bit.
Okay,
A little
so now back to Kung Fu.
Yes.
Because that was just speaking of iconic. I mean, that show broke a lot of barriers. Just because of David
Well,
Carradine.
and I'd like to make a real significant point here regarding Kung Fu. So many people say, David Carradine was an Asian and whatnot. Well, I can give you the real scoop of what happened. You want to hear it?
And yes, because
Yeah,
that's what I was going to
please.
ask about.
Okay.
Because I've heard a lot of discrepancies about this.
Okay. So, number one, Bruce Lee did not create Kung Fu. Ed Spielman and Howard Friedlander created Kung Fu as a feature film script in the 60s that Warner Brothers rejected. So, in 1971, Harvey Frand, Warner Brothers executive, dusted off the script, and he said, let's make this a TV movie for ABC's then very popular Movie of the Week series. Bruce Lee auditioned for the role, but he did not get the part because he was too tough for the role. So as a result of that rejection of not getting Kung Fu, he went back to China, his homeland, and became a martial arts superstar. Now, at the same time, he created a similar show right around 1970 or whatnot, but it was similar to Kung Fu, but it was not the Kung Fu series. So David Carradine was hired because, number one, the character of Kane was half Asian and half American. So it fit. Also, too, the American public would not have been ready for an Asian star.
No,
so
you're right.
They needed someone to ease the whole Asian American aspect in a slow way. America wasn't ready, but every character supporting on that show was Asian American or Asian in some capacity. And it was the first show that did not have stereotypical Asian Americans.
Yeah. Nope. Yeah. Like Sean Connery dressed up, in Asian on 007. It's like, dude, I don't care. You're not a 6 foot tall
that was
Asian
bad.
man.
That was
That's
bad.
not.
Or on Hop Sing on Bonanza. I mean, it was that kind of thing.
yeah.
It was just, now he would later do Soon Taek-o, I believe it was his name. He would do guest spots on Kung Fu. But before that, it was that kind of character. So Kung Fu changed all of it, not to mention that it introduced mainstream America to New Age thought and Asian American thought to the mainstream. Just as President Nixon was conducting historic talks with Chairman Mao. Are my answers too long? Am I talking too much?
No, you are, dude. You are
all.
doing awesome. I mean, I'm just trying to take it all in. I'll be honest.
Yeah. This is totally our wheelhouse right here. Like both Christian and I adore classic TV. So this is our interview right here.
Okay.
Like this is incredible.
Let's just bring it up.
Talk as long as you want.
There it is. There we go, Herbie. It's this comes up at least 2 or 3 times during a show. Yes, we're nerds. So
right.
And we haven't even gone into the sci-fi part of this. We just barely grazed it with the Bionic Man. We're gonna get into the rest of the sci-fi here. But now again, we are talking. This is for the audio podcast later. This is Herbie J Pilato. Has written all sorts of books about his being a page and classic television. Started the Classic Television Preservation Society. Did I say that right?
Yes, you did.
Yeah. Okay. And we are talking with him right now about Kung Fu, the TV series Kung Fu. David Carradine actually really embodied this, didn't he? He really took all this in I mean, he's great. I mean, he's done so much for I think just that whole breaking a lot of those stereotypes back in the day, because there was also a movie back in the 70s called Billy Jack.
Yes.
And that was, everybody was like, oh, this is part of the no, it wasn't, but it was that
was before, actually
similar.
Yeah,
was it before
it was before Kung Fu. The first one was like in 69 or 70. But but David Carradine, again, he introduced it, and he was king. He'd show up on like the Merv Griffin show barefoot.
Yeah.
And I remember watching that episode, and Zsa Zsa Gabor was on, and she would not let him get a word in edgewise, kind of like me right now. And he left. He got up and left. He left the panel, and Merv was like, "Where'd David go?" And he did not come back. Now, I do have a favorite David Carradine story. May I share that?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Good Lord, yes.
Okay, years later, like in 2005, after the book, 20 years after the book is published, I'm one of the producers on a Bravo show called The 100 Greatest TV Characters. And so I says, guys, we got to interview David Carradine. So I had interviewed David Carradine on the phone several times, but I never met him in person. So I said, you know what? I want to be the guy that goes to pick him up. I want to go there with the car. So I had a little white Malibu and driving down Ventura Boulevard somewhere in the valley. And I got to his house and I knocked on the door and he was like, "What are you doing here?" I mean, he was just the best. No, he goes, "What the hell are you doing here?" That's what he said. And I go, "David, I'm ready to do the show." And so he opened the door, and see, David did things to shock. He liked to shock people. He would say things just to shock people.
Just to get the reaction.
Just to get a rise,
Yeah.
So finally, we get it. I convince him to still get in the vehicle. So he gets in the car, and we're driving down, like I said, Ventura Boulevard. Here I am with Kwai Chain Cane, driving down Ventura Boulevard. He whips out his flute, and he starts playing the flute.
Are you crapping me while you're driving?
And he knew it was freaking me out.
Yeah.
Again, he loved that it was freaking me out. So first of all, it went from "What the hell are you doing here?" to this.
Right.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
gonna jam on the way in.
It was a really magical moment. It was
Yeah.
a
Did you
magical
start
moment.
drumming on the dashboard or anything? You know, with
I
it?
know my mouth dropped. I was just really in awe. It was I
Well,
just couldn't
and
believe it.
yeah, and Mark Sowersby mentioned this in the chat, but Kill Bill, they have him in there playing the flute during the movie,
yeah.
which I thought was a great nod
Oh,
to.
Quentin Tarantino, huge fan of Kung Fu.
Yeah.
No, totally.
Quentin
Yeah.
had my books in some magazine article. I'll never forget it. He had my the Rolling Stone interview or whatever. He had a picture of him in the living room, and there were my books on his coffee table.
Oh wow!
Oh my gosh. You're like, oh, right there. Look. Stop it. Rewind it. Go
Did
back.
you frame it? Frame it? Is it on the wall?
I have it somewhere.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Yes. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Dude. Okay, and we've got people mentioning stuff here in the chat, and I'm sorry, I'm just so fascinated with everything you're talking about. Now Heather here was talking about Lee Majors, and I'm sorry I'm jumping around, but we got so caught up in the conversation. What were you asking here? Oh, and Mark also brought up the fact about anything about Dukes of Hazzard. Did you ever do anything with that?
I did not. That never struck me.
Okay.
Daisy was great, but it didn't.
Yeah.
I needed to for a show to strike me. It would have to mean something. I mean, and I know that Dukes is a great show. It was a cozy show and an action adventure show at the same time. But
Right.
Bewitched, Kung Fu, $6 Million Man, Bionic
Those were
Man,
real true classic
Well,
and
they
iconic shows.
Well, they were about people who were different, who had
Yeah.
something special about them. And to me, it was really all about prejudice. Samantha and Darren loved each other despite their differences. They were outsiders. Steve and Jamie were half man, half machine, half woman, half machine. Kwai Kane was an Asian in a Western world. It ties into, when I was a kid, I think this is where it goes, but I was beat up all the time. I was bullied, because I was a cute little kid, and I could sing and dance, and I had all the little girls and all the little boys would beat me up. So I was always, I just always identified with the outsiders in some way, So
Right.
I wanted to make my books not just trivia books, but something
Sure.
that's books that said something.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and they're more honoring about what these people did, and
Yeah.
now again, I'm before we get into the sci-fi stuff, I want to jump back into the Bob Newhart show.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Because
did.
again, my first comedy album was my dad's. I stole it from him when I was a young kid. It was The Button Down Mind of Bob Newhart, and it was still one of my most favorite comedy albums ever. I love Bob Newhart, the way he styles himself. And my father actually got to meet him up in Lake Tahoe, played tennis with him. And I just still to this day, I hate my father because he never introduced me. But what all did you do with the Bob Newhart show?
No, actually, I just did a special where I was
Lie to me.
interviewed on. Okay, I was one of his clients. I was a baby client.
We actually had an actor on. Who was it that was on the show? That was on the Bob Newhart show.
Peter Boners, Suzanne Plachette, Bill Daly.
No, he played one of his patients.
Mr.
A
Carlin?
guy that. No. It was just like he was on twice. He was on twice, and that was it. It was a small bit, but
yeah, I can't remember who it was.
Anyway, but yeah, he was on the show, and I was just like, oh my god. So yeah, this is
well. The great thing about the Bob Newhart show is that he did another show before that called the Bob Newhart Show that didn't do well, and then he did Newhart, and then he did a show called Bob, and he always said, well, but the other show I do after Bob is just going to be the. But the great thing about the Bob Newhart show, the second one, is that it was really wonderful. Newhart was okay, but I thought the Daryl and Daryl thing was a little much.
It got old after a while.
Yeah, Yeah. And the first season was videotaped of Newhart, and then they went into film.
Yeah.
But the Bob Newhart show from 72 to 77 or 78, that was terrific.
It was
Yeah.
genius. It was
Yeah.
pure genius, every bit of it. And I do love the fact that at the end of Newhart, they allude back to Suzanne Plachette and Bob Newhart waking up in their Chicago apartment, and he's like, "I just had the weirdest dream," you know. And it was just
Mary
almost
Fran wasn't
cried.
happy with it. Mary Fran was not happy with that, though.
Really?
Oh, really?
Yeah, because she thought that the 5 years or 7 years that show ran, Suzanne Plachette stole her moment, and that's what people remember more than anything on that show is that final episode.
Okay.
So she wasn't happy.
Yeah.
Don't mean to bring it down again, but that's
Right.
Oh no, that's more intriguing. That's more like cat fights. And I mean, Suzanne Plachette was just awesome. I loved her so much. Okay, so now it's time. I've still got the Yes We're Nerds up. It's time to go into the sci-fi version of Herbie J Pilato and all that you've because not only you Star Trek, correct? But
I wrote the first article on the animated series that was ever published, and that was for for Sci-Fi Entertainment magazine in 1996. And then everybody started. I talked with the original animators of the series, and it was great. And then for the 50th anniversary of Star Trek, I interviewed William Shatner and DC Fontana, story editor for the Television Academy, when I did a tribute to them. But the original series, it just can't beat it.
No,
you can try.
You really can't. Yeah.
You know? Star Trek Next Generation is wonderful. Okay. My favorite season is the first year because it's so much like the original show. And then all they do is talk and 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 talk. Nobody goes anywhere.
Right.
Nobody goes anywhere.
Yeah.
Just a bunch of blah, 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 blah.
That's because the original series, Story A was we're going to a planet, and Story B was the characters. When the Next Generation came along, Story A became the characters, and maybe they went to a planet. But there was no imagination about strange new worlds or great alien characters that changed their minds because of there was no wonder. Now this is me.
Yeah.
This is me.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously they wanted to make $10 billion a day with all the franchises. But for me, you're never going to beat the original series, even though I have my Deep Space Nine outfit on.
Yeah. No, I totally agree with you there. There's something magical about the original series and its run, and just I mean, it's just so incredible. And the mix of characters in there on that bridge was like nothing you've ever seen before on TV, and it worked. You know, and that was the incredible part of it.
Well, and again, that was another show that was groundbreaking in not only, I mean, Gene Roddenberry, first off, the whole idea of this was an impossible sell, and yet he still got it done. And then to bring in people from all sorts of different ethnic backgrounds, you know, and to bring them all in as one, and they all worked together and they all stood by each other no matter what, even with their different cultures, and everybody alluded to their different cultures. Sulu, Scotty, Uhura, even Bones, for God's sakes, you know, his country Kansas style, you know, medicine and stuff. It was just, you know, it was incredible.
And I interviewed Nichelle Nichols for my Glamour Gadgets and The Girl Next Door, and she was a sweetheart. And, you know, the thing is, she had auditioned. She auditioned for Mannix. Remember Mannix with Mike Connors?
Yes.
Right.
Oh, yes.
Peggy Fisher, I think it was the character's name, or Gail Fisher. Gail Fisher was the actress's name who played Peggy. But that role originally went to Nichelle Nichols, but Gene Roddenberry would not let Nichelle do that series as well as Star Trek. So she was a little upset about that. But she was groundbreaking on Star Trek, obviously, for playing the first female African-American in a series, not in a lead, but in a series. And then Diane Carroll did the lead. And then Gail Fisher won an Emmy for Mannix. So it was all tied in somehow together. So
wow. Now, and there was something about Nichelle Nichols. Oh gosh, and I can't remember it now, but how she was asked and she was like, no, this is my role. Why would I do anything else? You know,
and she wanted to leave.
That's right.
That's what it is.
This is my favorite.
She wanted to leave because she wasn't given enough a big part. And Martin Luther King said to her, "No,
that's what it was.
Yeah,
you can't leave. You are representing, a very important individual and race. And because of him, she stayed on that show." Even though she was really never given a lot to do. Of course, there was the amazing interracial kiss with William Shatner, which was big.
Oh, yeah.
But she was not happy.
Kind of jealous. Just saying. I do. She was hot. I'm not going to lie.
She was hot. She was beautiful.
But
and she was even hotter when they did the alternative universe.
Oh yeah!
Oh dude!
Oh, they gave her the midriff.
The dress was higher. The
dress was higher.
So
the neckline was lower. And,
Yeah. So Herbie, you'll totally appreciate this. For the last few years, Hallmark has released Mirror Mirror original Star Trek ornaments that have the different characters of the ornaments. Well, this year they released a Enterprise tree topper where now if you connect all of these ornaments, they go through a 20-minute version of Mirror Mirror saying the different I can send it's one of like I have never been so ready to spend $300 on Christmas ornaments than I was this year.
What?
Wait. I will send you the video, Christian. It's like when I saw it, it was so incredible because they have the actual audio from the series pumping through, and it's so incredive. It's so incredible.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's going through my brain like over and over and over and over again right now, and that's my brain snapping.
Right.
Wow. Okay, I did not know that. And by the way, Herbie, you have made a huge fan out of Heather Durham over here. She's actually emailed you. She has her own show, and it's called SV Tags. It's a Silicon Valley. Anyway, but yes, she will be. She's contacting you, just so you know. But anyway. So yeah, back to man. Now I can't stop thinking about Nichelle Nichols in the alternate universe, and so I'm a little distracted. Herbie, thanks for taking me off track in the show here.
I will tell you that when I met her, I will tell you that when I met her, I gave her a copy of Twitch Upon a Star, and she loved Elizabeth Montgomery.
Oh wow!
She was so touched that I gave her that book. So
yeah, I saw a couple interviews with her later on in years, and not only did she was just a beautiful woman, very gracious. I loved listening to her talk with people about her Star Trek roles and stuff, and how she really embodied it. And I just a great lady. But again, that show just broke so many molds in so many different ways. And you think about it, Gene Roddenberry and all the technology that they had. Oh, I've got a telecom in my ear.
The flip phone. They essentially predicted the flip phone.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And they're coming. The flip phones are coming back because I definitely have to get one because I didn't get one the first time around. And I always wanted to say Herb to Enterprise. So
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. No, absolutely. Come
I
on.
have to get the new
Yes.
flip phone.
Well, but now our little handheld computer devices that we have, they have scanners now, kind of like the old
Oh, yeah,
tricorders.
sure,
Right.
sure.
Yeah.
Well, look at the
Yeah, you can,
laptops. The laptops that were from Next Generation. I'll give them that.
yeah.
The Next
Yeah.
Generation inspired the laptops, and the computer or the old floppy disks were from the original
That's
series,
That's right. Yeah.
Oh, good Lord.
right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Hold on. Putting the Yes We're Nerds thing back up again because we are just so nerdy now. Okay, so now Star Trek. Now with Star Trek, there was another show and sci-fi wise. What was the other show that you wrote about or worked with?
6 Million Man, Bionic Woman, Kung Fu.
No. Okay. Maybe I've just gone into I don't know why, but I thought I saw Space 1999 in there somewhere, but
Actually, I do love Space 1999. I think it's one of the most underrated sci-fi shows in history. It just had a bad rap because it was,
dude, we're new friends. We're hanging out. We're hanging
it's
out.
amazing.
Dude,
It's
I used to
amazing.
have the eagle, the little toy Dinky Toys eagle or Corgi toys that had the detachable and
Mhm.
yeah, I had 3 different ones and yeah.
Do you remember Star Lost?
No.
Star Lost.
What is this
So-
Star Lost? Or maybe I have seen it, but I did a lot of drugs and drinking back in the days, and you can ask Heather about that.
Yeah.
You got to look it up because it had like a
Okay.
0 budget, but the writing was fantastic. It was a syndicated show. It was when people were hungry for Star Trek after it ended, so they were trying all these different things. And so Star Lost came along in '73, I believe, by some of the producers who went on to do Star Wars. But Star Lost,
Ooh.
look it up. Look it up. It's
Okay.
fantastic.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna have to look this up
Project
now.
UFO.
No.
I know the name. Buck
Guys.
Rogers. Mark.
That was
No.
later.
Yeah, that was and
You gotta, if you want to keep your
It was
nerd,
alright.
Designation, you gotta look up Project UFO and Star Lost. One word. It's not Star Lost. It's Star Lost.
Star Lost. Okay.
yeah.
All right.
All right. Wow. Dude, okay. Yeah, we're gonna have to bring you back just to talk about some more of the sci-fi stuff, I think, and
I think so. Yeah.
and nerd out a little bit more on some
Yeah,
of this
there's way
stuff.
too much to uncover here in just one show.
and Heather's backing me up on not knowing about my past. Liar. She saw me in high school. So, okay. All right. Well, listen. Man, yeah, we could spend another 2 or 3 hours doing this.
I think we could. Yeah.
Did we mention the Charlie Brown Christmas tree here? I can't remember.
Oh no, I was actually going to say let me show
Let's
everybody
show
at
'em.
home on
Yeah,
this
let's
because
widen
I
it
got to
out.
do a wide shot here. Herbie, show us pull the tree back a little bit so yes, junior high.
Oh, that's so incredible.
And there's
Dude, that
Linus's blanket. Linus.
I was going to say you've got the full gambit. For those of you
I love
listening, Herbie has an exact replica of a Charlie Brown Christmas tree with the one ornament and Linus's blanket down at the bottom. It is so awesome. I can't believe it. Oh my gosh, that was I love it. That's just beautiful, and I
It's the
love
best thing.
Yeah, that is so
It's very
awesome that you
special.
have that there. Okay, before we get any further, we need to talk about your 12 best secrets of Christmas,
Yeah.
which was the main point of bringing you on here. So let me and I'm sorry, like I said, we got geeked out on so many other things.
It's okay.
Yeah.
All right, so Herbie J Pilato back here with us, and hasn't gone anywhere. We've just gone off in our own worlds. So
Yes.
you just released this book. Now, what was at the end of November? I'm assuming, correct?
Actually, it came out in July originally, Christmas in July. And I just I thought, well, what the heck? Because I've been wanting to do this book. Here it is.
Oh,
There we
yeah.
go.
Here, let me hold on. Let me
We'll
widen the
widen it
screen
out
again.
There we
There
go.
it is. The 12 Best Secrets of Christmas by Herbie J Pilato. And now what is this little book all about here, sir?
Well, it takes 12 memories from my childhood growing up in Rochester in the 60s and 70s at Christmas time. And it's divided into 12 chapters that has 12 messages, which are 12 secrets. I've taken those certain memories and found a lesson and a message in each one. And it's definitely my most special book because it goes beyond the Hollywood thing, the classic TV. Obviously, I love it, but I wanted to do something different that I could show that I could do something different. And every major publisher turned it down because, well, Herbie, it's not your thing. It's not your thing. And I'm like, yeah, but I want to do it. And they all said no. So I said, you know what? I'm just going to publish it myself, which I've never done. I've never self-published a book. And it's now become one of my most successful books.
Oh,
so there.
I was gonna say it's blowing up, isn't it?
It's doing great. Yeah.
Now, okay, and everybody, you can get this on Amazon or BarnesandNoble.com, or go to Herbie's website and you can get a signed edition. And so, and it's just basically, I
talk about Charlie. I do talk about Charlie Brown Christmas. It's a Wonderful Life, Frosty the Snowman, all of those great specials. The whole chapter really is about Rudolph. And that amazing talk about prejudice and feeling like an outsider, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I tie all that in, right?
Nobody lets me play in the reindeer games.
Yeah. Not very comfortable. Not very comfortable.
Yeah.
No, it's not Rudolph. So I do get a little classic TV in there because it was part of the experience of Christmas in the 60s and 70s. But this is the first book that really, it's my story. Yes, it is about Christmas, but it's about family. It's about love for all cultures. It's whatever love and whatever holiday meant to you at Christmas or in December, this book touches that. People of all cultures have read the book. Ed Spielman, who happens to be a man of the Jewish faith, he endorsed the book with an amazing a review of it, and that meant an awful lot to me. Dean Butler, who played on Little House on the Prairie, wrote the foreword. Jerry Hauser, who did Summer of 42, wrote the introduction, and he did the Brady's.
Oh man.
So
oh my God,
that's incredible.
Yeah,
dude.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, and I said to them, I go, it's really cool, Dean, because you were on Little House on the Prairie, and the title of the book is A Treasure House. And then I said to Jerry, I go, Jerry, and your name is Jerry Hauser.
And
so
you're like, is this clicking yet?
And he goes, so Jerry says to me, that's why you wanted me to do the introduction? Because my name is Jerry Hauser. He's a really great guy, by the way. He is a super human being.
Oh my gosh. Well, and Herbie, that is the one thing that I think really links a lot of this stuff together is you were really enjoyed and you're bringing back the whole purpose of those TV shows back then was showing the wholesomeness of Americana and what we've lost a lot in a lot of TV shows nowadays. There was just a lot of good family values. Everybody working together and getting along.
The biggest problem today, and this is my opinion, but the biggest problem today with a lot of shows is everybody looks the same. Everybody's beautiful. Everybody's sarcastic. Everybody rolls their eyes. Okay. To me, they all look constipated. Nobody looks happy. Nobody looks likable. You're flipping through the channels and you're watching all these dark shows with these dark, edgy storylines and these dark characters. And then all of a sudden you stop at that girl. What are you going to watch instead? I'm going to watch that girl.
That girl
Okay.
in a heartbeat.
You know, so, and the thing is, there's so much talent out there. It's not as though the talent isn't there,
Right.
but everybody seems to think that you can't have happy endings and you can't have bright, happy visuals. I can't understand what anybody's saying. I can't see the screen. I can't see the
Right.
picture because it's
Right.
also darkly lit.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's just a dark plot. You're absolutely. I mean, and that is what you know. Honestly, I don't watch a lot of TV. I
Yeah.
really don't. because of
Frasier,
that fact.
Frasier to me was the last great sitcom. Reba,
Yeah.
I think, is the last great family sitcom. That was it. That's the last new show I watched. And maybe
Right.
I'll
Yeah.
watch it. If I do get into something today, it's like then there's 9 million commercials, and then I forget what I was watching anyway.
Right. Yeah. It's
I
just like
wait
going.
for it to come out on disc.
It's just like going to see a movie and sitting through 25 minutes of trailers.
It's just ridiculous.
Yeah, it is. It
Well,
is
and I
crazy.
saw it in the Knives Out sequel, right? So love the first one.
Yeah.
The Knives Out
Very
sequel,
good.
they turned it into Marvels. I was like, they had to make it bigger. What was wrong with just doing another small story?
Right.
So they even ruined something that was great in the contemporary. So I don't know.
Which is very typical of Hollywood nowadays. Once somebody hits something that's just right, then they've got to overdo it and overexplode it, and it's just it's over. You're just like, okay, well, I'm done, and it's like again, I'm just gonna bring up the nerd thing here again because I'm gonna nerd out for a second. The Iron Man, okay, the first Iron Man movie. Fantastic. I mean, you could not have made a Marvel movie better than that movie. And I mean, just nailed everything on the head. Number 2 kind of went a little goofy. 3 brought it back, but then they went into the Avengers, which fully nailed it. But
right.
Then it got bought out by Disney, and Disney exploited it and just tore it apart and just has blown it so out of proportion now that, it's like, oh, wow, another Marvel movie. Great. Whatever. I'll just wait for it to come out on disc. And even then you're like, nah, I'm not sure I really want to,
Well, we all know that the only real Avengers that matter are the Dinah Rigg series with Patrick McNee. So let's call it, for what it is.
That's true. And you got to have the top hat, not the top hat. What's the bowler hat, right?
Yeah, the bowler hat.
The bowler hat and the umbrella. Yep. And
I say that because I'm doing, one of my future books is on Dinah Rigg. So yeah.
Oh, which another classy, sexy lady.
Yes, absolutely. And talk about a trailblazer.
Yeah. Oh, true.
She fought for equal rights for women, equal pay for women. She was amazing. She was the cameraman on the Avengers, her TV series, was getting more money than she was, and she was upset about it, and she said, no. I want to
seriously.
Yep. I want to make what Patrick McNee is making.
Yeah. Well, I mean, rightfully so. She was the co-star of the damn show, for God's sakes. And the Colonel's watching with us. Colonel James Neil Brodus. Welcome with your wee beady eyes.
James, wonderful human being.
He is. He's
beautiful
he's
human
Colonel.
being.
He's incredible. Yeah.
All right. So, well, listen, Herbie, we've still got so much ground we got to cover, and I don't want to keep you for another 3.5 hours. So would you be willing to come back with us another time and hang out with us and talk some more about your shows and books and just kind of maybe geek out with us for a while?
I'm sorry, no. Of course, yeah.
Yes. I was about to do that.
It was bound to happen sooner or later. We were bound to rub somebody the wrong way.
Somebody was just going to be like, not going to happen. Dude,
of course I'll come back. You guys are fantastic.
Dude, you are fantastic. And I'm digging everything you do. Okay. First off, we got a little game we like to play with all our guests, and it's just a little something that shows what we got going on and what's going on inside your head and how the world works for you. And it's a mental evaluation basically, and it's founded by the government. And we just wanted to see if maybe you'd want to play along with us. So are you interested?
No, thank you. No, thank you. No, of course not.
Random questions of
There it is.
insanity.
Yeah, that guy. He wants to play random questions of insanity. We're not sure where he comes from, but
No, he just sort of jumps in here and says
jumps in and says these kind of weird things about random questions of insanity. It's a simple, fun little game, and we always started off with 2 base questions just to make sure we start off on the right parameters. So our first one is, what is the best James Bond film in your opinion?
I'm going to go with From Russia with Love, because I'm also doing a Sean Connery biography. Did you know that?
No, we do now.
I did my homework on it. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
See,
I'm going to go with
do homework.
Yeah. First of all, there was no better Bond than Sean Connery. Number 1. Number 2, out of all the Sean Connery and James Bond movies in general, From Russia with Love, no doubt.
Oh, all right. You know what? Out of all the people that we've questioned about this, that has never been brought up. So that's I like that. That's a good one. And I actually kind of forgot it. I mean, it wasn't one of the bigger of the Bond films.
Right.
No,
but it's yeah.
It had a story, and it was
there was a plot and an ending,
and it was intense more so than any of the others. And Sean really made a mistake when he did not do On Her Majesty's Secret Service, which was really an underrated film. But he was always looking for the character to grow and develop, and the character does in that movie. He gets married to Diana Rigg, by the way, and he doesn't do the film, and it was a mistake. And had he had done that film, that would have been my favorite James Bond movie.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Now, see, I'm a little tossed between Sean Connery and Roger Moore, just because I mean, Connery is, he is Bond, but I thought Roger Moore did a very good version of him. But a little hokey, but it was fun. It was each Bond was very good for the time period they were in.
I thought Timothy Dalton was terrific. I don't know why he didn't do more. I don't know what the problem was.
I love the Timothy Dalton Bonds. I love those movies.
It was very good. Now, but now Daniel Craig, and we had a guy who is a Bond historian, worked with Ian's daughter about all the Bond stuff, and apparently Daniel Craig's character is actually what Bond is supposed to be like the entire time. He's very dark, very violent, very moody. And Connery and all them took it to a whole different, more Playboy-esque style. And so they actually worked on bringing the character back into what he's supposed to be like in the books.
Well, Sean loved Daniel Craig in that role. He did. He thought very highly. He thought he did a wonderful job, because there was a lot of issues because he was blonde, but really Ian Fleming's original character was blonde.
Yeah.
Yep. So in that way too, it came back to what the show. But you know what? James Bond, Pierce Brosnan I love, but he wasn't James Bond. Sean Connery and I'm going to get into Henry Cavill too with Superman. Superman is supposed to, and Sean and James Bond, they're supposed to be larger than life. 6'6", shoulders like this. Pierce Brosnan has shoulders like this.
It's just a little.
And Henry Cavill, the cape was running on the ground. He wasn't tall enough. I'm sorry. So Sean, that's why Sean was larger than life. Daniel Craig he's good. He's great. But Sean was. In my opinion,
Connery was the best. All right. What is your favorite sandwich, and what all is on it?
avocado and friends at a restaurant here called Polly's Pies. It's
Okay.
delicious. It's all avocado and they're friends. All vegetable. It's a veggie. It's an amazing vegetable sandwich. I used to be the hamburger kid. I used to love hamburgers until I became a vegan or a vegetarian. But I was, like Popeye and Remember Wimpy on Popeye? Who do you know?
yeah.
Hamburgers.
Oh yeah.
I'll gladly
No.
pay you Tuesday for a hamburger today.
Get out of here, Wimpy.
No, yeah, no, I actually, one of my favorites is some whole wheat bread, mayo, avocado, tomato, onion, lettuce,
Beautiful.
pickles, jalapenos,
Delicious. Wonderful.
Yeah, now I'm getting kind of hungry. So, all right, those are our two base questions, and that is yeah, sounds like a delicious sandwich. So we're going with it. Andy, hit me with one.
Okay, so I gotta ask: are those DVDs behind you?
DVDs and books.
Okay.
Yeah.
You have a free 2 hours. What DVD do you pick from behind you to watch?
From behind me here.
question.
How about just from like the whole place? Because there's lots more.
From the whole place.
I have 2 hours, probably 4 episodes of the Dick Van Dyke Show.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
I absolutely. I want to live with them in that house.
Right.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. It is just that show to me is the best. I know everybody loves I Love Lucy, and certainly I love Bewitched, but Bewitched is in a separate world. Okay.
Right.
The Dick Van Dyke Show is my favorite sitcom, if not my favorite TV show of all time.
Okay.
No, and you know what? That whole front room kitchen area, you really felt comfortable.
Yeah.
I seriously, I mean, even when he trips over the ottoman and stuff like that, it's still, you're just like, it's a little step down into it, and you just like, yeah, that's home. I want to go there. I want to go chill and hang out with Dick and Laura, and
I found
have some
of
coffee and
the pictures that they had in the living room. I found some at like a garage sale. I could not believe it, and I put them in my den at the time. Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
Not the exact pictures, but pictures that
but
look
like them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I was like, whoa. But that's what happens sometimes. You find those things. And, okay. So, because we were just geeking out on this and all that, who wins in a fight, Kirk or Picard?
Oh, please.
I know the answer. I know the answer. I know the answer, Herbie. I know your answer.
Maybe Picard would have a chance if he brought number 1 in. On his side.
Sure. Yeah. Okay.
Yes. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. That's absolutely correct. Okay. So, Kirk. Yes. All right, we get it. All right, Andy.
So we give you the little tool to the H.G. Wells time machine. You can go back in time and interview that one person that you did not get a chance to interview before they passed away. Who is that interview?
Oh, so many, but I guess, I did the book on her, but I did not interview her. I'd have to say Mary Tyler Moore.
Okay.
I loved Mary. She was, she didn't love herself. That's the issue. She constantly had surgery to change her face, and she was fine. And I don't know why she did that. I'm all for looking as great as you can look, but she took it too far. And I explain all of why she did that in my book, but I wish that I would have met her.
Okay.
No, nice. Okay. I know we're gonna have you back on, so I'm gonna save some of these. You can be anyone for 5 minutes. Who do you choose?
Superman.
No.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
You sure it's not Iron Man?
I'm technologically challenged. That would be crazy.
But if you were Tony Stark, you wouldn't be. You'd be the most genius man in the world.
Yeah, but I'm claustrophobic too.
Fine. Okay, sure.
Superman. Let's face it. The only real superheroes that matter are Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, and Aquaman. That's it. Everybody else now.
Okay, Herbie, you just got on my nice list, man.
Herbie, we're gonna have a talk after the show.
So he's a big Marvel fan. I am a big DC fan, and
They
Superman,
just happen to be DC DC characters, but
well, yeah, but they are the better superheroes.
I
Absolutely,
mean, it's
100%.
every superhero came from those four. Come on.
Yeah.
Well, but I will say I am a Batman fan because, and we've had this debate, but still Iron Man wins. All right, Andy, your turn.
So it's your night to order pizza. What are we getting?
Just cheese and pepperoni. But I don't eat pizza anymore because it blows up in my stomach.
You're right. Yeah.
But if I do, it would be just cheese and pepperoni. Very simple.
Okay. All right.
Okay, so feeding off of that question, what is the best type of cheese?
Parmesan, but you don't really put Parmesan cheese on a pizza.
That's almost like a seasoning.
Yeah.
But it is good, especially fresh ground right there, Parmesan.
Yeah. But I don't like a lot of toppings. Definitely, I know a lot of people like no, that makes me crazy. That's not pizza. When you put everything on a pizza like that, it's not pizza.
Yeah,
it becomes
but
something else.
If you were just gonna munch some cheese, what would it be?
Oh, cheese. I'm not really a cheese person. I'm cheesy at times.
You're vegetarian. Welcome to the Random Christian Show. We are cheesy and delicious. All right, Andy, one more.
Yeah. So it's Christmas time. What was your favorite toy as a child?
The Dark Shadows game, because it came with the fangs, Barnabas's fangs.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Forgot about
that. That's such a great.
Wow.
And I talk about that in the book. I talk about the one night on Christmas Adam, which is the night before Christmas Eve. That's what I call it, Christmas Adam.
Yeah. Okay.
And how we visited wealthy friends of ours because we didn't have any money growing up. And I remember going to this house where the children in this family had all these toys, and I was crying and I was jealous. And I came home and I was crying, and then my parents brought out all the gifts, like on the night before Christmas Eve, which is Christmas Adam. And one of those gifts was the Dark Shadows game and Battleship and Twister.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh.
I still have a Rock'em Sock'em's robot. Just saying.
Oh man, yeah. I always wanted those. If the question was, what did you always want and never got? Rock'em Sock'em and a big wheel. The year they came up, I grew up.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
Do you remember the game Battletops?
Battletops.
Yeah, there was like 4 tops in the middle of.
Yes.
And they'd battle and.
Yes.
Yeah.
Again,
I'm old,
that. And I think I had those.
Old.
I had those.
All right, let's okay, I'm gonna end it on this one. You're presented with 2 doors. One door, you can go fix all the mistakes from your past. The second door, you have $10 million. Which door do you choose?
$10 million.
Yeah.
Pass is over, dead, gone. $10 million.
Yes. Oh, where's my applause button? Oh, we got the wrong board.
Yeah. Oh, you got the wrong board up.
There we go. All right, beautiful answers. That nails it.
So Herbie, before we let you go, I do have another quick 6 degrees of separation for you from my past here. My mother owned a hair salon that was next to a video store. There was a girl at the video store that worked there that I had a big crush on. And the owner of that video store was Meridell Carson, sister to Yvonne Craig.
Wow.
Yeah.
And let me tell you something. Yvonne Craig was beautiful.
Oh,
and she was never
incredible.
fully appreciated.
Yeah.
She should have gone on. I don't know what happened, if it was the Batgirl thing or not, but
maybe
she was amazing. And she, of course, she was the green.
The alien in Star Trek. Yeah, she was the one. She was the iconic green alien. Yeah.
And she was hot. So,
Yeah.
just saying, it's what I do, and
Yeah.
yeah. So I'll just I'll be over here. All right. Well, listen, Herbie. Again, we got to have you back, man. This was awesome, and we've got so much more we can geek out with you. I want to hear some more. And now you've got another book coming out soon. You said.
Yeah, actually, next in the spring, I have Retroactive Television, an in-depth perspective of classic TV social circuitry, which talks exactly what we were talking about, how it made a positive influence, how classic TV shows made a positive influence on the viewers for years. And Eric Scott of the Waltons has written the foreword. So I'm very excited about that.
Oh,
so cool.
Oh my,
so
okay.
cool.
Yeah. Okay. After that book gets released, let's get you back on here, man. I want to talk about that. Dude, this has been just an absolute pleasure. Like I said, I've been looking forward to this.
Yeah.
And Herbie, you're just absolutely awesome. Again, Herbie J Pilato, his book 12 Best Secrets of Christmas is out on Amazon, barnesandnoble.com. Go find him. All his other books are iconic, great books about classic television and shows and part of our Hollywood history. Herbie, thank you so much.
Thank you so
much.
Thank you guys. And Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays.
You as
thank
well,
you,
Herbie.
sir.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. We so appreciate you. Thank you for being here, and we will talk to you again soon, sir. Have a wonderful holiday. God bless you. Mwah! You are awesome, sir. This is great. Dude. Oh my gosh.
That show could have easily gone 4 hours if
dude,
we had the time.
I was like looking at the time. I'm like, oy vey. Okay. Well, listen, we still got our sports show to do, and
yeah.
I don't know. Maybe we should just save it till next week. Or should we bring in the sports?
No, let's save it till next week. I think we've. I don't know. We had such a great.
I know, dude. Well,
such a great interview. It doesn't. I don't know that it applies here.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I want to end it with this because this has just been.
Yeah.
Oh, so good. Gosh. Oh man, I seriously could have talked to him for so long. Oh, hey, there it is.
Turn it down.
There it is. Hey, it's the Dead Campers signaling that it's time for us to go. Yeah, we'll have to get the sports on next week. Apologies for those who were waiting for our sports show, much anticipated with Tommy the Truth. We'll have him on next week, and we will get to it. Apologies to Tommy and all that. But anyway, so excited because of Herbie being on the show. This has been absolutely great. Next week, again, we are going to have Bishop Stevens. We had technical difficulties with him the first time. We got it all ironed out, and he's going to be talking about his films that he's got coming up, and so
another
much
major
more.
Announcement coming from Bishop next week as well.
Yes, lots of big news coming from Mr. Bishop Stevens. So make sure you tune in. If you're watching or listening at home, make sure you're listening on Spreaker, iHeartRadio sponsored Spreaker podcast channel. That's where we get our penny listen from. So we'd appreciate it. Spread the word around. Tell their friends and family. We've got a lot of stuff lined up for you guys in the coming year. Just booked a female monster truck driver. Yeah, that's right.
Nice.
That's going to happen
great.
here on this show. Yeah, because that's what we do. In the meantime, kids, I want you to make sure you take care of each other. Be good to each other. We're all we got out here, so let's be nice. God bless you all. We'll see you next week, Tuesday, 4 p.m. with Bishop Stevens and Tommy the Truth. All right, kids. Have a beautiful week. We'll talk to you next week. Peace.
Bye.
Where's did he sign off? No.
No,
I think he didn't. No, it's not letting me click on. He must have signed off. Or everything's just jammed up.